Hey there, welcome back to the Board Game Sherpa channel, where we take the fear out of learning new board games and put the fun back in. Today's episode is part of a series where I give gaming reviews. Usually games I've played over the weekend with my wife for Board Game Saturday. They aren't full how to play videos, just enough to see if the game is right for you. Today's game is a game that I absolutely had to have after doing research on my top 10 hot games of GenCon 2023 series. The link's in the description. The game is called After Us, and it was designed by Florian Souret and illustrated by Vincent Dutrait for Pandasaurus Games. It's a 1 to 6 player game that says it will take around 45 minutes. I'm on my 5th time playing already, and it's gone from an hour-long game on our initial play to 30 minutes on our last play. It was supposed to come out at GenCon, but I was able to pre-order it last week, and I got it a couple of days ago, with time to play and review it before I head up to Indianapolis for GenCon. I just checked the Pandasaurus website, and pre-orders are sold out already. But it goes on sale in retail stores on August 23rd. And they're probably going to be selling copies at GenCon. And of course I bought this game as soon as I heard about it. The reason? Its tagline. 2083. Humankind has been extinct for several decades, leaving only traces of its legacy behind on Earth. Over time, nature has reclaimed the planet. While the world restores itself, the apes continue to evolve. They gather in tribes, develop themselves, master the objects left behind by the humans, and advance in their quest for knowledge. As a leader of one of these tribes, it's your responsibility to set your fellow apes on the path to collective intelligence. If you didn't know, I am a huge Planet of the Apes fan. Like, more than usual fan. I cosplay as a gorilla soldier from the original series, and a few other variations like the Red Lantern gorilla from the Green Lantern Planet of the Apes crossover comic series. So, this description totally drew me in, as you might expect. We'll get to my expectations versus the reality of the game in a little bit, but first, let's show you how the game plays. The official summary of After Us is as a deck building and resource management game featuring an original and intuitive combo system in which players are each leading a tribe of apes. Starting only with tamarins, they combine their cards each turn to collect resources and gather victory points, attracting new apes into their tribe along the way. Powerful gorillas, resourceful orangutans, versatile chimpanzees, and wise mandrills. The first player to obtain 80 points prevails in the race to collective intelligence and wins the game. During setup, players get a player board, 2 score markers, 4 action tokens, and a set of 8 tamarin starter cards based on their chosen color. On each card, it shows a bunch of stuff. The level of your ape. Tamarins are starter level, but the more advanced apes comes in level 1 or level 2 varieties. Our rage value. I'll explain that later. And a bunch of open and closed brackets with resources or actions inside them. The resources include blue flowers, orange fruits, black grains, energy batteries, a light bulb representing victory points, and a red gorilla head representing rage. There's some other stuff, we'll get to those later. The game is played in 3 phases. Phase 1, assembling the tribe. Basically, players choose the top 4 cards of the deck and put them in some order on the table in front of them so that the most open brackets get closed based on the cards next to them. This is called your primate assembly. Hey, I didn't name it. Once all players are ready, then you resolve the boxes. Top line of the boxes first, then the middle row, and then the bottom row. The starter cards don't have a lot of bottom row representation, but that's why you want to recruit better apes later. Now it's time for the next phase. Phase 2, attracting new apes. With the resources you gain from Phase 1, you can now recruit better apes to your tribe. Each player secretly chooses which type of ape they want to recruit by selecting one of the 4 action tokens, each with a different type of ape on it. When everybody is ready, they all show what ape they chose and immediately get whatever bonus is on their action token. Now would be a good time to explain each new ape's benefits. Orangutans. They immediately get you 2 energy batteries as a bonus. And if you decide to, for lack of a better term, buy this ape with orange fruits, they are more likely to give you energy battery resources in Phase 1, which help activate the objects humans left behind like a computer. Chimpanzees. They immediately activate one of the boxes from your primate assembly as a bonus and get whatever resources that the closed box would give you in Phase 1. You can buy them with either all flowers, all fruits, or all grains. They will usually give you options to reactivate something you already activated on your player assembly during Phase 1. Gorillas. They immediately give you 2 rage points as a bonus, which you track on your player board. When you get at least 4 rage points, you can remove one of your tamarin starter cards or any weak card from your playing deck. Why would you want to do this? Well, in pure deck building fashion, the starter cards are weaker than the cards you recruit into your deck. And the more you remove the starter cards, the more likely the newer, more powerful cards will show up during your Phase 1 assembly. And thus, better resources for you. You buy the gorillas with black grains, and they likely give you more rage during the Phase 1 assembly. Mandrills. They immediately give you 2 victory points as a bonus, which are key to winning in After Us. You buy the Mandrill with blue flowers, and they will likely give your primate assembly extra victory points in Phase 1. Now, you can buy level 1 apes with 3 of the preferred resources, or level 2 apes with 6 of them. And as expected, level 2 gives you even more resources or points than the level 1 cards. There's an option to pay 2 of the same resources to copy whatever bonus your neighbor action disc has. But honestly, after a round or 2, I usually forget that option exists. And finally, Phase 3, resting. This is basically cleanup. You discard your used cards and get ready for the next round. My wife and I use this rest period to use our rage to get rid of weak cards and or spend batteries to use the human left behind objects. You can use those objects anytime once during a round of play. My wife and I just like to use them during the rest period. Players keep going through those phases until someone hits 80 points. First player there wins. If there's a tie, then whoever has the most points wins. If still a tie, then you just might as well flip a coin, since I refuse to share the victory option on a competitive game. So that's how the game is played. There's a bunch of stuff you can explore on your own, but those are the key points. Oh yeah, After Us has a great solo mode as well. You play against the automated character called King of the Apes, and as you might expect in a solo game, he doesn't play by the same rules as your human opponents. And he's a bit harder to beat than a human. For Phase 1, he starts off each round with 3 flowers, 3 fruits, 3 grains, and 2 energy batteries. And he doesn't make a primate assembly, but he gets points and resources depending on the 4 cards he draws. If he has a level 1 ape, he gets 3 victory points. If he has a level 2, he gets 6. If he has start cards, he gets an extra resource based on the card's rage value. He also gets extra resources based on the type of ape that shows up. On your Phase 1 turn, however, things get interesting. Instead of taking resources from the general supply, you take them directly from the King of Apes. So the more resources you take from him, the less he can do during Phase 2 and 3. For Phase 2, the King buys whatever ape he can get the highest level for. For example, if he has 6 grains and no other resources, he buys the level 2 gorilla. There's more specific tiebreaker rules in the rulebook, but that's good enough for now. For everything else, he basically has to take the option that rewards him the most. And by the way, that solo mode is hard. I got my butt handed to me 80-42 the first time I played the game solo. But now that I understand the game more, I started doing better. He only beat me 80-65 on my last solo. I'll beat him soon, but it's a fun mode to play. Bottom line, what do I think about this game? Well, first off, other than using some of the objects left behind by humans, there's absolutely no real connection to the Planet of the Apes theme that I thought this game would have. Normally, I'd be annoyed at that, but this game totally makes up for it in other ways. First off, the game is beautifully illustrated by Vincent Dutrait and is a joy to play because of the artwork. But I also really enjoy the gameplay. There are a lot of strategies to get those 80 victory points, and you'll have fun however you choose to do so. My wife plays a lot of games with me out of pure pity, so when she offers to play this game on her own volition, that means this is a really special game. She really does love After Us, and I'll probably be playing a lot more because of that. And I don't mind one bit. One of the cool things that After Us has is that early on, you're scoring points in dribs and drabs, and you start thinking the game's going to drag on for hours. But after you start loading up on the more advanced apes, you really start packing on those victory points. Once you're around the 40 point mark, you'll probably only have a couple of rounds left till you hit 80. Last night, I was playing the solo game and went up 32 points in one round. I still lost though, so while it initially feels like a long game, it can quickly turn into a half-hour game. The bottom line is, I love this game. Even though it's not really what I thought it was going to be about, I would give it a 9.5 instead of a 10 just because of the lack of any real Planet of the Apes vibe, but it would easily be a 10 otherwise. If you're at GenCon, pick it up soon because it's going to sell out quickly. And that's my review. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my Board Game Sherpa channel and put a big thumbs up on the video. And if you agree or disagree, tell me so in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. See you next episode.